Hey dudes and chicks and neither of those rules don't apply to you. Welcome to Work for the Last Time. My name is Katie. Today, I am going to be doing my best of 2023. So I'm basically just lumping everything together. I'm going to do all my favorite things. I don't have a specific number. If it was my favorite, it was. If it wasn't, it wasn't. So if you guys are interested in seeing what I think are the best products that I tried of 2023, then just hang out. I'm going to start with face products. Like I say, I didn't have a shitload. One of the things, so I'll start with the most boring things first, but I don't think they're boring because when I find a good complexion product, I find it really exciting because I don't like very many complexion products and I don't try very many. And usually when I try them, they're hits. So the first one is the Rituel de Fille 3-drop serum. So good. Here's the deal. I cannot put this on with my fingers. I have to use a beauty blender because if I don't, it will give me weird texture, weirdness on my nose, and I can't fucking stand that. But dude, it smells amazing. It really only takes 3 drops. You just shake it up before. It smells so fucking good. The coverage is great. It feels good all day. You might not want to use a facial spray with it because it's pretty hydrating. You could turn into a filthy grease trap with the quickness. So I was using powder with it and then I kind of started overdoing it with the powder. You don't have to use a powder. I don't use a powder normally. But then the other thing that actually surprised me just recently is the Revlon Illuminance. And I know this is a huge fucking claim right here, but I almost feel like this is not a dupe for the Rituel de Fille, but I don't feel like it has the same amount of coverage as the Rituel de Fille, but this you can apply with your fingers, and it smells really similar. So I've been actually taking it and putting as close as I could to just letting it drip 3 times onto my finger and then applying it with my finger, and it looks so good. And you can use your Mario Badescu facial spray with it. It looks fucking beautiful. They both smell fantastic. This one is $18. This one is like, I don't know, because actually my manager Tanya got this for me, so that was gifted to me. But anyways, I'm excited. It's been quite some time, maybe over 2 years since I found a good facial product that I liked, and this year I got to find 2. So these are the 2 that I've been using mostly. I have been using my ColourPop since winter, but then I got this and now I've been all on this one's dick, and honestly, it's so good. I love it so much. Then the next, I'm going to go into blushes. So the Blush book by Made by Mitchell came out this year, and quite frankly, I wish I had the other one. So these glowy, there's a matte formula. It's about 50-50. There's half mattes and half glowy. And the glowy formula is just so, look at that. You can see it just glows. It's so nice. It's just really nice. It looks like it has just like a golden like shimmer to it, like a golden like glitteriness to it, but it's not. It's actually like super shiny and just glowy. It's really fucking nice, and it's become kind of a staple in my day-to-day. And then you guys are not going to be surprised by this, but the Unearthly low light highlighters, the singles, so good. Mirage is like a gold to green to orange shift. Twilight is just some sparkle, which I haven't really loved at all, except I just saw Amanda use it on her channel over the top of a solid lid shadow, and it looked really good. And then this is Spectre. Now Spectre is not my favorite, however it is like, it does have a ghostly, like it's like ghostly the way it shifts to purple and just sets off your skin. Like it actually looks like something is coming off of your skin. This is like one of the Terra Moon's Iridescent Chameleon shadows, the Mirages. And then you guys know it's my boo is Spellbinding. And Spellbinding is like pink to greenish gold to peach. It is just life to me. It's the best highlighter that I have. It's so nice. So those are my 3 best of 2023 facial products. I'm sure none of you are surprised by those things, but honestly, my friend Tanya texted me like 2 days ago and was like, dude, I just got a code in the mail for, I just got an email with a code for Unearthly, what, anything that you think that I need? And I'm like, bitch, those fucking highlighters. Everybody needs these. They're so good. If you guys did get an email, I guess they must have went out to people who are subscribed to their email list. If you guys got a code and you guys don't have these, Spellbinding and Mirage are like musts. And Spectre is also very good. It's a little less wearable, I would say, but if you put it on lightly, it's totally wearable. Okay, now we're gonna get into palettes. I felt like I wanted to do these kind of in the order that I got them because like some things get neglected because as the year goes by, but I don't know that I'm gonna do that necessarily because a lot of these things came in just recently. But I'm gonna start with the Scooby-Doo palettes by Glamlight. The color stories look like this. The shimmers were fucking fantastic. These came out late last year, but I didn't film with them until this year. And so these are kind of old news, but honestly, I wanted these to get into one of my favorites videos and they didn't make it into my last year's favorites. So they wouldn't have made it into any favorites if I wouldn't have put them in this video. So it was a must. And then obviously the Unearthly Don't Be Jelly revised, the Don't Be Jelly 2. The color story looks like this. Some of the best shimmers of all time are in this palette. I love the color story. I love the theme. I love everything about it. It's actually one of my favorites of all time just because the color story is very interesting. I just find the color story interesting, super functional, super usable, and also you could do a lot of different, you can go a lot of different directions that makes it a really fun color story that's unique and interesting. The Midwinter Dream, this is the first Ensley Rain palette that I tried. This was her collab palette with Ellie Huffman. Oh, Brittany Huffman. That's who. Brittany Huffman. My bad. Here, let me just... Can I read it, please? Brittany Huffman and Ensley Rain. The color story looks like this, and this is when Ensley Rain just blew my fucking mind. I knew that it was going to. I already knew it was in the bag. The shifts are so beautiful and unique. There's so many different textures. It's just literally a cornucopia of textures and experiences in this palette, and I knew that I was going to be on Ensley Rain like crows on roadkill from there on out. There was no, she was never going to be rid of me the minute I tried this palette. The Arrow Inspired palette by Adept Cosmetics, and quite frankly, I've been wanting to, yeah, that's what I thought. I've been wanting to swatch these just a little bit to see like what the texture feels like, if it feels the same or different than the texture of the Element 115 palette, and that swatch definitely did feel different than the texture of the shadows. I'm just curious, I feel like they might have changed their formula because they discontinued the Mary Jane palette and because the stuff was too expensive, and I just felt like these shimmers felt a little bit different than these shimmers and other shimmers that I've felt or had in Adept Cosmetics. But anyways, the Arrow Inspired, the color story looks like this, and I'm here to tell you right now, this color right here, Daniel Brickwell, it is like, has this pink shift, and honestly, when I posted my look that I did with this palette on Instagram, it actually looked like I was wearing a pink look, and it was so cool. It was just really, sorry, I need to check those shifts. Why can't I ever get it to work like that on my arm? So stupid. So anyways, I love this palette. So grateful that I got it. Okay, so this is the Madame Violet palette by Notoriously Morbid. Now, you guys know I have a shitload of Notoriously Morbid palettes that I got this year, and so it was really hard for me to pare down what were actually my favorites. This palette could go anywhere with me. Like, you could actually bury me with this palette, and I feel like Notoriously Morbid about once a year comes out with a palette that is my heart. And for me, this year, it was this palette. Every single one of these shimmers is cute. Every single color on this palette is my favorite color. Like, they actually sent this special to me super early because they were like, Katie, this color story is right up your alley. We really want you to film with this for us. And honestly, they weren't wrong. I crushed this palette a couple times, maybe even a few. I did 2 or 3 looks definitely with this. And so I love this palette. And honestly, this is my favorite launch of 2023 by Notoriously Morbid, period. But I still had some other favorites that were like really good. But honestly, as far as the color story goes and how usable it is for me, how wearable it is for me, this is the color story. And Notoriously Morbid, one of these days get the sticker. I don't have the cover for it. That's how early they sent it to me. They actually sent me the palette before they got the stickers. So I never ended up getting one, which is totally fine, but I'd like to have it. It still made my favorites without the cover. Let's just keep on going. Okay, the Electrum Cosmetics, the Sea Witch palette. This color story is good. It doesn't have any blending out shades, which is okay. It works. I love this palette, but dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, the color story I love, and the shimmers in this palette are from literally straight from another world. They are like so beautiful. There's a couple colors in here that is like you can't even begin, and I honestly don't remember. Here, let's look at Lorelei. This is a hollow shadow. I mean, as close to it as I had ever tried up to this point. Persephone is like unbelievable, but I don't think that that's the color that I think is... What was the color that I was like so fucking freaked out by? This is Siren, and honestly, maybe it was Persephone. I don't know, but honestly, these fucking colors, I didn't even use this one. This is Hera. Oh my god, I literally just barely touched down on it, and look at how fierce it is. So anyways, the shimmers in this palette are a different kind of experience, and Electrum has something really cool going on. They have another palette out, and it's a 9-pan palette of all like multi-chromes, I think, and it's $75, which it seems like worth it to me. Because their shadows are, their shimmer formula is that good. It's just not feasible for me right this second, but honestly, at some point, there's going to be Electrum palettes that come out, and if I can get them in a timely fashion, they will be on this channel, because I love the brand, I love their product, I love their themes, they're all amazing. So it's totally a brand that's after my heart. This is the Wonderland palette by MBA Cosmetics, and I got this palette when I decided that I really wanted to go after MBA Cosmetics. Again, I love this color story. The shimmers in this palette also were so fucking good. Like, look at the shifty, and honestly, I didn't even rub that out. That's just like chunky goodness right there. Just beautiful. Here, let's give it a little rubby poo. Oh, balls. I just used the wrong finger. Anyways, okay, so the blue is really shifty because I just used the purple color to rub it out, but anyways. So beautiful. I love the color story. I'm going to be doing a winter look, and probably this is going to be in my winter palettes, like if I actually get that fucking uploaded. It seemed like I've had so many other things that I needed to upload that it's been hard. This is the Forest Heart palette by Smink Berenda and Salem Cosmetics. Love this color story, so creative. The greens are beautiful. That sage green, I don't know, just this like, dirty pea green, but it's like pea, like fresh green peas. This is like a little bit minty. I just feel like the color story is really unique. It's got this like dirty brown, and then this orange is so amazing. Also, I love the pink in this palette. This pink matte is beautiful on the skin. So really just everything about this. The shimmer formula was great. I love Salem Cosmetics because of this palette right here. So I'm just kind of waiting to push the button on another one. The only reason why I didn't get their newest palette is because I kind of had all these other palettes coming that I wanted to work with, but also because the color story really does look very similar to a lot of things that I've been using right now, but I mean, you never know. I still might. I still really liked it. The Nomad Royal Europe, they fucking outdid themselves on this. I feel like this was like so good. The color story is amazing. You could go a lot of different ways. There's warm tones and cool tones. I love this mustard, and these shimmers were obviously epic. So they didn't fucking come to play with this palette. This palette rocks your world. These are so shifty that you don't even have to swatch them. You can just see the shifts, like crazy town. So good. Nomad killed it with that one. The Lure palette, this was like so fucking good. The color story is me. The meaning, the theme, this mermaid thing that was going on this last year really appealed to me. I was dating a fisherman, and so like it just felt so right for me. So anyways, this color right here is the only one I'm going to swatch, but Pearl was like such a surprise. It's such a beautiful color, and for those of you who know, it's like an aquamarine teal mint green to a pink shift. So beautiful, so great. So yeah, this was like, honestly, this is one of my favorite palettes of all time. So, okay, this is the Mothman palette, and I'm just gonna tell you that this actually came out last year, but I didn't order it until later, and I didn't film with it until this year. This combination of this color right here and this color right here is one of my favorite color combos of all time. And it just has such interesting shimmers. There's so many interesting different colors that are so weird in this that I just love it. I obviously love the theme. I love the palette. I even love the weird shape. This color 57 Chevy is like, it's like a ghostly pink shift that, like, you guys know, pink, if it's a pink shift, it's my shit right there. So anyways, that color 57 Chevy could be possibly one of my favorite shimmers. And it's like the strange formula. It's like it's not their normal, it's that more dusty formula, but the color is just so beautiful that I couldn't it's just irresistible color to me. It almost looks like what cherries smell like. It's like, it looks like the smell of cherries. I don't know if that it makes any sense, but it's like this like neon pink. It's almost like Red Giant red. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But anyways, this is the Sirens palette by Jolie Beauty. Love the theme. Again, the fucking mermaid thing we had going on. I love this palette. Again, I kind of already mentioned this before, but I had it pointed out to me that when it comes to Jolie palettes, you're kind of always looking for sixth gear. Like, you can never really get the payoff that you're looking for. But this one has a good black. And also, I feel like a lot of the colors that look like they're going to be deep may not be. But then colors that look like they're going to be deep are a little bit different of a formula, and they actually really are deep. So I really love the color story. I love the greens, the purples, the blues. Their glitter formula is fucking good. And they always have 2 duochromes in each of their palettes that are very impressive. So I really like Jolie Beauty. I like the themes. I like her whole aesthetic. It's amazing. Plus, she's actually liked some of my posts before that weren't Jolie Beauty posts. And I really admire and respect that when brands do that, when owners of brands like your posts, even if they're not their brand, because there's a lot of brand owners that don't even like your post when they are their brand. So fuck them. Just kidding. I just really like it when people brand owners like your posts, and it's especially true when it's not even a post of their brand. Okay, you guys know the Bog Witch was going to make it. I love the cover. I love the color story. I love this color right here. I actually panned it. I didn't pan it because I used it so much. I did use it an abnormally high amount compared to what I normally do, but I panned it because it's pretty soft, and so there was a lot of kick up, and I kept trying to save it. But anyways, I love this color story. This color right here is like that awesome pink. It has a pink, like a pinky shift in it. It's really difficult to see. I probably ain't going to be able to catch it, but Notoriously Morbid really did something cool with their greens this last year that made me feel all funny inside. So yeah. Oh, and it was this one. This has all these pink flecks. It's almost like Pete's Dragon. It's like a spotted belly, a pink spotted belly. So anyways, I love that color. Okay, now we're getting into the end of the year shit. So I'm just gonna go with it. The Night of the Vivid Dead did make my best of 2023. I fucking love this color story. I love the colors. I like it when Notoriously Morbid does these bright mattes. I do not like about this palette that it's not a standalone palette. It kind of needs something else, but the actual individual shades in this palette are so fucking cute and so good that this had to be in my... I love this color. I love this color. There's a lot of colors. These mint greens in here are seriously something to scream about. So anyways, I really like this palette a lot, and so I also really like the cover. It's adorable. I love the Sleepy Hollow palette. This actually kind of gave me a new relationship with orange. I was kind of in a transition about my feelings about orange anyways, but just the way they did this color right here, this one is like a orange shift in a green. It just is so, it's so beautiful. I literally love the way Notoriously Morbid actually made colors shift within the color that are completely opposites. And it just made me really fall in love with these greens, these palettes, and also this palette. I love the orange looks I did. I feel like I looked fucking fire. The Sorceress Smoke palette, I love this color story. The shimmers were amazing. This is another like kind of neutral, like basic bitch palette. And quite frankly, I can just put the Fall Magic in with this one. These two palettes stole my heart with the quickness this year. The shimmer formula is amazing. I feel like these palettes are totally interchangeable. You can really create looks together. You can keep them separate. They're so pretty. They're like both really neutral, but make it Katie. They're just both really beautiful, and they stole my heart, like I say. This is the Element 115 palette. I love it. I love the theme. I love the color story. I'm going to do a second look with it here shortly. I'm just trying to do the best I can. And so I kind of wanted to get my new stuff videos out, but like a second look is coming with this, and probably a third or a fourth, because dude, right now I got so many really good palettes recently that like I want to use them. And so yeah, so anyways, you're going to be seeing more from this, but dude, I didn't like these two colors. I don't like that they did that. I feel like if you were on the fence about which palettes to order between the Wonderland palette or this, if you asked me about it in the comments, I told you, I feel like these two shadows are actually a waste of your money. I don't like it that they did this. I feel like these palettes are way too expensive. And honestly, I can't help but wonder why. Like, everybody always talks about the price of an Ensley Rain palette, but then like nobody even mentions the fact that these two stripy shades are a total waste, and this is a $65 palette. So it's like, I do think that that is like super annoying. However, I would still repurchase this. So like that is irritating, and hopefully I can come up with some way to like make that work to my benefit, those stripy shades. But I also feel like there was a better way that they could have used up that space so that it would be more cost effective for us. So anyways, no matter what, I still would have bought it. There was nothing keeping me from this palette. Nothing. And it did not disappoint. And also those stripy shadows piss me off, but it could be both. This is the Wonderland palette by Cosmic Brushes, and quite frankly, Cosmic Brushes did steal my heart. The color story of this is actually what stole my heart, and the quality is good. It's good. It's a really great affordable brand. This palette wasn't as affordable, but honestly, like compared to some of the other palettes that I have on here, even $36 is still really affordable for the amount of colors that there is. The duochromes in this are beautiful. This color right here could very well be my favorite color of all time, right? It's got that pink shift that's just like eye-gasmic, like so good. So honestly, Cosmic Brushes did not disappoint, and I'm still waiting to use the Serenity palette for you guys. Like, I've actually been holding out and I've been wanting to use it, but I need to film with it. Like, I cannot use that for the first time ever without showing you guys. So I've kind of just been holding out. This is the Cold Moon palette, and honestly, if I would have got the Flower Moon and the Harvest Moon, they would have made the list too. I just know it, because the formula in this brand is fucking to die for. The color stories are amazing. The shimmers are beautiful, and the themes are always on point. The cover is so beautiful. All of the covers are so beautiful. The Lands of Enchantment obviously made it. I love this color story. This is like after my own heart. It has perfect dimension all the way from depth to blending shadow. Like, the shimmers in this are beautiful. It has every fucking color I love in it. And it included a pink, which I love palettes that include a pink. This is like a zombie lover's dream. Like, if you loved looking like a cool tone zombie fairy, this is going to be your jam. I feel like both of these palettes are well worth the money, super fun. And then the Season of the Witch Winter, this is my favorite Season of the Witch palette that they've come out with. The color story looks like this. The next time I use it, it's going to be with this blue and this color right here. Like, I can't wait to use this again. These shimmers are all super cool looking. I don't really care for this green. It's not my favorite, but that doesn't mean anything. I just don't really love forest green. So that's everything. That's my favorite things of 2023. And honestly, I feel like that's legit my favorite shit from 2023. I was hoping that I was going to get those e.l.f. things before I filmed this video because I have a feeling they're going to be really good. But I also have a feeling that they might just be like, I want them to be glowy, not dewy. So they're a dewy formula, but they're not a glowy formula. But it looked like, when I saw in the pictures, it looked like they have just a little tiny bit of a pearly stuff in it, like a little bit of a, you know, sparkly, shimmery stuff inside of it. And so I just hope that they're a glowy formula and that they're going to look so beautiful. So anyways, that's all there is. Those are my favorite things that I got to try in 2023. And honestly, I didn't really try that much stuff. I saw people that were like 100 palettes they tried. I feel like I got like 15 palettes that didn't make it into my favorites. They were all really good. Like, I love them. They're not going anywhere. I'm not going to declutter them. But I just, you know, I really wanted to make sure that even though I wasn't like ranking or doing whatever, that you were actually getting what I actually felt like was my favorite shit from 2023. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell because you can't wait to see what happens next. Hit the like button if you like this video, or if you just like my sparkling personality, my boyish charm, and hang out with me in the comments because I fucking love it. If you got like halfway through this video and you're like, oh my god, she's so pretty till she opens her big fucking mouth, then go check me out on Instagram. I don't talk as much on Instagram. And if you were like, don't sugarcoat it, Katie, why don't you tell us how you really feel, then go check out my Patreon. I don't hold anything back on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching. You could have been anywhere, but you were here wasting your time with me, and I totally appreciate you. Later.